Fears of all-out war in the Middle East. Iran retaliates after the US and Israel launch a barrage of missiles. Israel claims several senior figures from Iran's leadership have been killed. The Iranians say while some commanders have died, the supreme leader is still alive. This was the scene earlier this morning in Tehran after the largest US military buildup in the region since the Iraq War. Donald Trump now says the Iranian people should overthrow the regime.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take.
Thousands are now caught up in the violence, including tourists across the Middle East. And this is the scene live right now in Tel Aviv. You can hear the air raid sirens that have been sounding throughout the day. We'll bring you the very latest and look at how close we are to a regional war. Hello to you from Tel Aviv, where the air raid sirens have sounded again. This has been going on throughout the day. And we're in the middle of a region where there are fears of a much wider Middle Eastern war this evening. Iran has retaliated after Israel and America launched a barrage of airstrikes in the mid-morning across the country. Several sites were hit in what Donald Trump has described as a major combat operation on social media. The Iranians have retaliated with force right across the area. Plumes of smoke were seen in parts of Bahrain near the headquarters of the US Navy's 5th Fleet. An airbase in Doha was also hit, where there is a significant US military presence. And this missile was captured on camera over Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. Thousands of residents as well as tourists have been caught up in the strikes. We'll have reports from our correspondents across the region and assess what the implications could be for the Middle East. But first, Jeremy Bowen, our international editor, has the latest on a dramatic day in the Middle East.
Israel and the US went back to war with Iran just after breakfast time in Tehran, hitting the capital and sites across the country. It's hard to get information about what's happening there. Video of an attack on a school in southern Iran is circulating. Iranian state TV was reporting 85 killed. This is a dangerous moment with unpredictable consequences in the world's most turbulent region. Israel said the whole operation is a preemptive attack without producing evidence of an imminent threat. Sirens sounded immediately in Israel. War is political. Successful ones require a precise definition of victory. Donald Trump's was wide-ranging, possibly unachievable, definitely a gamble.
The United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated.
Iran tried to deliver on its threat of a devastating response aimed at the extensive network of US bases in the Gulf. This was Qatar, as well as Israel.
Go, go, go! Get inside.
In Dubai, tourists looking for winter sun had a nasty reminder of the region's realities. Close by in Bahrain, this appears to be a strike aimed at the big US naval base. Iran says it will use more powerful missiles than the ones it fired in last summer's war. An interceptor rocket went up. Iran will hope that as the days pass, the US and Israel will start running out of defensive missiles. In Israel, the military released video of its command center and said it had been planning the attacks with the Americans for several months.
Challenging days await us. Every military action involves risk, but the risk of doing nothing is greater. Because if we do not act, we will get a nuclear Iran, an Iran with tens of thousands of ballistic missiles.
In Tehran, a compound used by Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was targeted. The Iranians said he wasn't there when it was destroyed.
orada öğrenci.
Regime supporters rallied around the flag. It would take more than killing the supreme leader to destroy the regime. It has a complex political system underpinned by ideology, corruption, and the ruthless use of force against dissent. In January, big protests against the regime and the economic crisis were crushed with live bullets that killed thousands of people. Donald Trump promised to protect them and seems to believe that the regime will fall if they try again after America and Israel's onslaught.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond.
At dusk, the Fairmont Hotel on Dubai's Palm was hit. It isn't clear if it was a target or if it was missile debris from an interception. The fire took hold. Iran's leaders will now be calculating how to ride out the war, how to survive, and how to manage its consequences. Jeremy Bowen, BBC News.
Well, the strikes on Iran follow months of tension right across the region. Since the start of the year, the US has been building up its military presence in the Middle East, the largest deployment since the Iraq War in 2003. Sarah Smith is live in Washington for us now. Sarah, the Israelis say the initial reason for the attacks was to try to take out the supreme leader. It's unclear if that has happened with the Iranians. Donald Trump is now saying that he wants the people to rise up themselves.
Yeah, indeed. It's obvious that his ambitions for this action go way beyond stopping Iran developing a nuclear weapon, because you heard him there talking about destroying Iran's military capabilities and encouraging Iranian people to overthrow their government once the bombing campaign has finished. Now, Donald Trump has warned quite frequently recently that Iran could be attacked if it didn't agree to his demands, including stopping its nuclear program. But I think American people will be pretty taken aback by the sheer scale of this assault. And Donald Trump informed them about that in a video that was posted on social media at 2:30 this morning. And in that video, he did warn that there is every likelihood of American casualties as a result of this. That didn't happen in his actions against Iran last year or Venezuela last month. And this is the man who promised voters no new foreign wars, who railed against regime change and American attempts to do that in Iraq and Afghanistan, is now hoping to achieve regime change in Iran.
Sarah, thank you. Sarah Smith, our North America editor at the White House in Washington. Well, 7 of those missiles fired by Israel this morning have hit the presidential palace, and there have been strikes around the supreme leader's compound. Iranian media is reporting that at least 53 people have been killed in the city of Minab in the south of the country. Baran Abbasi from the BBC's Persian service has a report now and a warning. It does contain distressing images.
Panic on the streets of Tehran around 9:40 a.m., a working day in Iran, when loud explosions were heard across the country.
War has started near our office down in Palestine Street. All the buildings were shaking. The streets are full of terrified people.
At the same time, a sense of relief for some. A woman cries out in joy, says the Supreme Leader's office was hit. And at this school, teenagers celebrate. In early January, shocking pictures were shared with the world of thousands of people killed when government forces opened fire on protesters calling for regime change. The brutality left many believing only military intervention could topple the regime. But public sentiment could shift sharply if civilians are killed in the attacks. Many Iranians reacted with anger after state media reported that an Israeli struck on a girls' school killed dozens.
The first victims of this war are girls in Minab, hit by a missile attack. Is this the war you cheer for?
A mixture of emotions. For some, a fear that more violence is yet to come. For others, a sense that the regime's hold could finally be challenged. In a country scarred by months of protest and deadly crackdowns, uncertainty reigns. As the smoke clears, Iranians are left to face the consequences and to hope for a future beyond fear. Baran Abbasi, BBC News.
The scene from inside Iran itself there. Well, in the last few minutes, the country's Revolutionary Guards are reported to have radioed ships saying that the Strait of Hormuz, the entrance to the Gulf, is now closed for transit as it's unsafe. Now remember, that is a major gateway for oil out of the Middle East. So that is a huge development. Meanwhile, Sir Keir Starmer says the UK was not involved in the strikes, but he did say British planes and forces were actively supporting their allies as part of the UK's commitment to the security of the Middle East.
Our forces are active, and British planes are in the sky today as part of coordinated regional defensive operations to protect our people, our interests, and our allies.
Well, here, Israeli airspace has been closed and all major airlines have been diverted or cancelled their flights to the region in the next few days because of safety fears. Obviously, we arrived, I would say, probably about 3 hours before the attacks actually happened in Iran. We were woken at about 8:15 in the morning by sirens going off in the hotel, and hundreds of people streamed down to the basement area where there is a bunker, and we sheltered there for some time. Air raid sirens have been going off periodically throughout the day, with people obviously running, fearing for their lives, and from time to time the night sky has been filled with little flashes, which are the anti-missile armaments that the Israelis are firing up to deal with anything coming in from the Iranian side. Of course, throughout the day, we've had reports of attacks on other parts of the region and also in Dubai. As Jeremy Bowen mentioned in his report, the Palm Jumeirah Fairmont Hotel was allegedly struck by a missile. Explosions have rocked Abu Dhabi and other cities across the Gulf area too, particularly those areas where there is a significant US military presence. Well, that's it from us here.